everybody, and welcome to the Sunday special episode of Grooming Daughters. Our today's guest is Aditi Holani. Welcome, Aditi.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for
Aditi
this
runs
platform.
her own venture, a clothing line, Shoulder Lab, a contemporary women's wear brand. She loves to explore varieties of surface textures and would consider that as her brand USP. She launched her first collection at Lakme Fashion's Week Generation platform. She also heads the marketing and digital marketing division and manages the financial investment portfolio of her family business of rubber chemicals. In her free time, she loves to read on varied topics such as management and spirituality, always eager to meet new people and having fulfilling conversation on various subjects beyond design. Welcome, Aditi. We also have with us Professor Hiten Muchala. He teaches strategy to our GFMB students under SP Jain School of Global Management, and he himself is an entrepreneur from last 28 years. Welcome, Hiten sir. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Sabina, for that wonderful introduction of Aditi. And welcome all the viewers one more time to this episode of Grooming Daughters. And as you must have known, we have Aditi Hulani. Aditi Hulani is a very special person, in particular to all of us as a faculty of GFMB, because she has been our student. So welcome, Aditi. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much, sir, for the lovely introduction and for inviting me to speak on varied subjects today. Thank you, sir.
All right, so Aditi, so as you know, today's session is all about grooming daughters and what are the influences that actually go into grooming a daughter and her personality over a period of time. And I think you have done so well for yourself today. And that's what we would like to ask. The first question would be, what had been your early childhood like? What were the influences? Who motivated you? Who inspired you?
Thank you, sir, for the question. I think it's very difficult to put it in like few words, as to who inspired me, because one is often, inspired by a lot of people around them. But particularly in my case, I think my parents really influenced me um, in a huge way. And because there were daily conversations right from the childhood, not just about work, but, as a wholesome package, what a human being should be like. And my father and my mother both have been like huge influences in their own ways. And they were very, very clearly demarcated for me when I remember of my childhood. So I think my father was very ambitious as a person himself. And back then he was, um, even today, actually, he's really looked up upon, and he's, everyone comes to him for advice for like small, small things. So I used to be in awe of him, like right from childhood. And I used to try and clone him. Like I also want to do the same things like he's doing. So I did a lot of that. And my mother was a huge influence in the emotional person that I am. So she brought us with the right value system, and how to be in relationships and how to tackle people and all of that. So that is like a clear, two segmented thing that they brought into my life. And I, like, for professional thing, I knew like I have to go to dad, and for my personal you know uh, advices, I always used to go to mom. So that was my childhood like. Yeah.
That's correct. So you said that on the emotional side you were more influenced by your mother, but in fact on the professional side more influenced by the father, who was socially very well connected. Would you like to speak something about that? What was your father exactly into? What really you used to like about him? What you used to see about him, and what you used to clone about him?
Yes, sir. So he was a topper right from in his school days, like from lower KG till class 12, like always, like through all the classes he used to top. So we were like, wow, this is such a cool thing to do. and we wanted to be academically like him. And back then, he also pursued chemical engineering from BITS Pilani. So it was a huge deal at that time, because all the other siblings were like, this is a top ranked university. So they were very, very um, influenced by my father also. So in fact, I remember all the buas and chachas, they were like, acha, which school should we get our son into? Which school should we put our daughter into? So that kind of a thing. And I was in awe of his decision making skills, like, and his time management skills, because he used to manage work and then this social connections very well. So I used to try and clone him. Like, I remember one day, like, he was telling someone about what he did in childhood. So I used to be like, "Nahin, I have also done a lot." And so I used to, unknowingly, I used to try and clone him in the decision making things and the way he used to take decisions. I used to also want to take it in the same way. Like, if he was like, should delegate work, we should not, you know, do a lot of things ourselves, and so that we can have some free time for ourselves to grow our business. So I used to try and do that in my projects at NIFT also. I used to give them to people, and so that I can have more free time to plan out different things. So those small nitty gritty kind of things where I used to try and clone him. Yeah.
So did it also ever happen that, you would, in your childhood, you will go to your factory or your office with your father and you'll observe him? Did that ever happen? And how did that have a rub-off effect on you?
That never happened in our family, so it is very strange. He used to always talk about work on the phone with several people, but because chemicals being a very, very technical field in itself, we used to not understand what he's talking about. So if he's telling someone, we want this and this chemical, we were like, this is Greek and Latin for us. So we used to not get into it only. We were like, कि कुछ बहुत बड़ा काम कर रहे. We don't know. We don't even know about what is happening. So he never. We were based out of Calcutta, and the factory was in Gujarat. So usually, like, a factory visit would happen if it was in the same city. It was not so in our case. But of course, we've gone to the admin office, which is in Calcutta, and see what is happening. For pujas and all, we've gone to the factory, but never really tried to get into it or even know about the products. He kept us away from all of it. Yeah. So
This is interesting that he kept you always away from it, and yet at the same time you were highly influenced by him, and as you said, you would clone him. Your introduction says that you are doing extremely well in your fashion designing business, which is started. It's your own venture, and you started this by yourself. What made you choose between fashion over chemicals? Chemicals has been your family business. You said you were always influenced by your father, who started this business by himself. Ideally, it would have been very easy for you to join your chemicals business. What made you choose fashion over chemicals?
Sir, like, right from school days, I was academically not very, very strong. I was like, never a science person, or like be interested in chemistry and biology and all of that. So it was actually a no-brainer for us, because I was very influenced by my mother's. You know, we've shifted several houses during childhood. So she used to always do up the house, and she used to always take care of the house. So I used to be inclined towards that. I liked my father's decision-making skills, but it was never the case that I want to be in the chemicals business ever at all, because I knew I can't understand anything, and all these big chemical names, I used to feel intimidated. Even till late, I feel intimidated by those products that we make. So it never occurred to us that we should join this, and he never forced it on us ever. So he was like, what do you want to do? So you should do that. You should pursue that. So I used to like doing up the house. So I thought, I want to get into architecture. So I prepared for that for 2 years. And my mother was very supportive, and she used to also take in. So in the whole preparation, you're supposed to make a lot of sketches and of drawings of the house, and also I used to show to her. And my father, I used to take advice that, oh, how is it looking, the final product? But we never spoke about chemicals. So in fact, I prepared for architecture, and then by accident, I got into fashion because I also got through NIFT in Calcutta. And then as parents, they were like, you should stay close to us and you should pursue whatever is possible within Calcutta. So I pursued fashion designing from NIFT Kolkata. Yeah.
So this is an interesting point you are raising, because most of the participants that have come so far, who have been our guest speakers, and whenever I've raised this question, most of them have said that they were highly influenced by the way their father was working, and that is what actually influenced them to join their family business. In your case, things have been different. You did got influenced by the way your father was working, but at the same time, chemicals was, as you said, Greek and Latin to you. You've been always a creative person, and creativity has always been your strength. And you chose not to join your family business, but to start something by yourself, by joining NIFT, and that's where your father and mother help you. Uh, an important area of influence for you in this case happens to be your mother, because you change your home every time, and your mother would do the interiors, and that's where the creativity so-called lies, right? And that's how you probably got influenced by your mother. That's very interesting. Aditi, how about going forward? How about getting your college education done and then finally getting married?
I did my undergraduation in NIFT, and which was in Calcutta, and it was more like a residential, college where there were no timings, so it was more like an 8 to 8 thing. So my mother was hugely supportive in the projects that we did. And my father was usually busy in the factory, but he had an underlying influence on all of us. Even if he's not around, he's very well aware of what we are doing in our lives, and through the phone or morning conversations which happen. So it was like a family graduation for all of us, because my father took huge
And
interest.
what were these morning conversations like?
The morning conversations are very interesting. They happen till date. So about what I'm planning to do, what I'm up to, who are my friends, and my father took a huge interest in my friend circle, and he hangs out with them even now. So
Okay.
yeah. So I think he just he liked to know what the college students today are like, what are they thinking, and he used to compare it with his BITS Pilani days, because even that was a residential college. So suppose if some fest is happening in NIFT, so used to be like, "Acha, हमारे दिनों में ये होता था," हम लोग भी ये सब करते थे. And our friends were like this. Tell me more about your friends, about your projects. And my mother used to help me in the creative side of it. So if we've got a project on, say, an embroidery project, uh, my mother had a keen eye for art always. So she used to help me with those things. So it was like a holistic, influence that I got from my parents. So my graduation happened in NIFT, and then I think I accidentally chose this course, and then by the end of 2 years, I became serious. And I was like, I'm enjoying this. I want to pursue this wholeheartedly, and I want to be serious about it. So then, by the third and the fourth year, I made plans like I want to pursue my masters in so and so college, and then launch my own label eventually. But launching my own label didn't happen in college days. It was more like I want to just work under nice people and want to do good work. There was a lot of reluctance initially from my mother's side that she didn't want to send me abroad. Father was very supportive. He's like, so at least now we'll send her. We'll do. She's grown up, and we'll send her. And I think जिद पकड़ के हम लोग दोनों बैठ गए थे. So then my mother was like, okay, fine, you go. That was the first introduction to the there are a lot of cross-cultural experiences you have. And my class had, so she used to ask me what I'm eating every day. She was very worried, have I started eating all rubbish or like I'm eating healthy food? So they were very, very involved back from India also. And there was a video, Yahoo Messenger video thing used to happen that time. And of course, not on the mobile. So every day at the night when I used to come back, we used to do video calls. It was back evening over here. So every day they used to do video with me. So they were very, very well aware of what is happening with me, how I am coping up with my life there. And so I studied my master's, and then I was working simultaneously over there. And base program. So we used to do these. So I think life changed a lot during those years. Those 2-3 years. Yeah.
Right. So I think what you're trying to make a point is that, irrespective of whether you decided to choose to join your father's business or not, it was very important that your father and mother kept taking interest in what you do. And as you mentioned, they will also take interest in your friend circle. They would try to know your friend circle. They will try to mingle around with them. And that's what helps them and you to bond together much more better. And this is again another part of grooming up your daughters, because it's also important not only to know her but also to know her friends. Coming to the biggest turning point in a woman's life, and which is marriage, always, all the time. And I think let me speak this on behalf of you to all the viewers, is that Aditi has undergone a very big personal challenge in terms of marriage. She has divorced. She has divorced her previous husband, and now she's on her own. What we are trying to find out, Aditi, from you is not about what happened with your divorce, but it's more important about how your family supported, how your father and mother took up this whole part, accepted you, tried to understand you, tried to motivate you and inspire you for what you are today.
So my marriage happened after a few years of my master's after that. And it was a rough patch in my life. And my parents were, they were involved in my life, like from graduation, master's, to even my dating life and then marriage. So they were very well aware of everything right from the beginning. So I think it is very easy to say for me that they were more like my friends, because they were very well aware of what I'm thinking, what my thought process was, and they used to try and guide me wherever needed. And they were also very, very well connected with my friends, so they knew what this generation thinks like, and how so they were very supportive right from day one, emotionally, and in every which way, sir. Like I don't think I could have even taken the step had it not been for their support. Like I was very, very reluctant to take the step, and I would have continued with it had it not been for their support in the entire picture, if I may say so. So they were very supportive, and they've always treated me and my brother like an adult. So uh, so whenever we were talking about, we've had a lot of difficult conversations at home. So some of the morning conversations have been very, very on taboo topics also, like how relationships are, how marriages are, which I don't know if a lot of parents do, but they were they used to talk about their own experiences also, and about family people. And so these conversations came in very easy. So if I was facing any issue in life, professionally or personally, it was very easy for me to like pick up the call and just tell them that, okay, I'm facing this, what should I do? I need your advice. So and I knew they are my best well wishers, so I used to always ask them, if I'm doing the correct thing, because my mom is a big critique of mine. So if I've made a mistake, she will make sure I first correct that, and not point fingers at others. So she'll always be like, "No, पहले अपने आप को देखो और फिर you point fingers at all." So she used to try and know why and how and everything of every situation, and then they used to guide me. So when we all just understood that it's not going to work anymore, they were hugely supportive because they knew, a huge part of what was happening. So they were supportive when I came back. Also, I initially didn't come back. I came back much later because I wanted some space to myself, and so they were supportive even in that phase of my life when I said I don't want to meet people and I don't want to interact with you all at all. So let's just reduce conversations. So they changed the topics. They used to talk about movies, travel, and we did some holidays in that time just to distract me. They used to push me to work harder and made sure I was busy with work. And so, like, very difficult to say in like a few words, but like 100% support. More than that, maybe. Yeah.
I think let me summarize. You may find it difficult to express in words, but what I would say is that a lot of times many parents, especially parents of daughters, face this situation, and it's very obvious that divorce is painful equally for a man as it is for a woman. But for a woman, it is much more painful because she needs to go back to her house, and not only that, her parents have to accept her. And they have to accept her, they have to motivate her, they have to inspire her. And this is another very, very critical role that parents play in life of a daughter. Unfortunately, yes, and something that has happened in Aditi's case. And look at how her parents played this part. They not only accepted what is happening, but they also inspired her, motivated her, allowed her to have that space to settle down in life, to again, reorient and reorganize herself. And I think this is another very, very critical part of grooming daughters. It's not just about grooming daughters for your business or for developing a personality. It's grooming a daughter and ensuring that we are there with you in any kind of problem in your life that you have. Right? So I think it's a fantastic thing that your parents have done. And what has happened in going forward is Aditi has a brother, and he's almost 8 to 9 years younger to her. Aditi, would you like to speak about something about your father's bad health that happened over a period of time, and what were the fallouts after that?
Yeah. So when I was going through a personal setback already. My father's health was not very good at that point of time, and it was he was unwell over a period of time. So of course that used to worry us a lot. And my brother was in the US. He was studying. He was doing his undergraduation uh, in the US back at that time. And since he's 8 years younger, so he was doing his undergrads, and meanwhile I am doing business. So it was a huge age gap that he had. So he couldn't come back, leaving his graduation midway. And so my mother was just worried one day, and she was like, nobody really knows about what dad is doing apart from him.
Hold on, Aditi.
Yeah,
I would
yeah,
just like to clarify to all the viewers. Try to put all, and this is to all the viewers. Try to put yourself in this situation that there is this daughter, okay, who has just recently divorced, and she is needing a space to reorient and re-identify herself. That's on one side. The father is undergoing a severe health issue because of which he's not able to take care of his chemical business. And the father has a younger son who is 8 years younger to his daughter, okay, who is already studying in US, and his wife who is a homemaker. Now the problem is the daughter is looking after the fashion industry. The father has his own very big chemical industry and business where the daughter and the mothers have not involved yet. And this is a classic case of something which is a family crisis. It's a situation of family crisis, and that's what Aditi is going to define to us. How did she help to come over this situation? Go ahead, Aditi.
yeah. So we knew my brother will come back eventually, but he had just completed his graduation, and we didn't want to stop his dreams of work eggs there. And he was just almost just completing the graduation, so he couldn't stop that either. And then post that, he wanted to gain some work experience at least. And meanwhile, here he is going through a health crisis, and me and my mother, and all of us rather, even my brother, we are not aware about what is the chemical business all about. And so it was out of a necessity that my father just suggested, why don't you, you know, at least try and take a keen interest. Maybe you end up liking it. So I couldn't wrap up my fashion business that point. So I thought maybe I should do something in which I can parallelly manage both the things. And I was from a non-commerce background, absolutely no idea about what management is, what business operations is. In fact, it's a joke that I didn't even know what debit and credit is, because I've never studied commerce in class 11. So we just do math, science until class 10. And then I was in the arts field. So my father was like, you just can't join like that because you don't know anything about it. And so why don't you pursue SP Jain's family managed program, because it'll be a part-time thing for you. Like, it'll be like a 1 week a month, and then you can apply what you're learning and also do your own business. It's not a full-time course that you have to be absolutely available for 1 year. So this course came as a blessing to me, because I could manage what I was doing in terms of work, and I could learn all the management essential management tools that I had to even start looking at the business. So that is when I decided to join the GFMB course, which was in Bombay itself, and I was based out of Bombay at that time. So I used to attend the classes once in a week, and then I used to try and apply uh, whatever we were taught. So the best part was, sir, that it's a more application based course. So it's not like you're just learning through the theoretical, books and classes. So we got a lot of assignments which were based on our actual business that is happening. So it just became like my introduction with the business, and also meanwhile learning what I was learning. So it was, and I slowed down Shoulder Lab at that point of time, because, of course, I couldn't handle so much. So that was very, very selective work in terms of my fashion. And I was studying and trying to get introduced to my family business at that point of time.
Yes. So I think two things, very tough decisions you took. One was slowing down your Shoulder Labs, which is your fashion designing business, which you started by yourself, something very close to your heart, to actually manage your business. And of course, to get over and understand your business better. What you mentioned was you did the GFMB program from our institute. Fair enough. But at the same time, what were the challenges as a woman that you faced in the business? You said you had no idea about chemicals, the terminologies of the chemicals. It was like Greek and Latin to you. How did you cope up? How did you manage with all these things? How did your father try to help you to settle down with his chemical business and manage it for some time?
So he used to tell me to initially start by working like an intern over there, because I'm absolutely not aware of what is happening. So he told me from day one that you're not the boss over here. We already have a functioning team over here, and you just work as an intern. You will get all the support needed from the different departments. Just try and learn what is happening. And he used to be like, make this project for me, like what all other products that we are doing, make this report for me. So I was kind of working like an intern under him, and he used to be like, "Acha, MRF ke liye hum log kya kya banate hain? You just make an Excel sheet, and what are the sales like? You make a report and give me your inferences, insights on that." He just he didn't have any expectations from me. He just wanted me to start knowing what the business is about. So I was based out of Bombay, and I used to take help from the Calcutta team, and whatever little projects he gave me. So he was like, abhi sales report ka Excel sheet bana ke do. And he used to look after the reports, then whatever I made. So it was like a personal homework for me at that point of time. So I was like, okay. And then I'm calling someone from the team. I need all these Excel sheets of whatever we've done. And then, you know, so it was all on email and calls initially. And then I used to start taking trips because I was like, itna to phone pe nahi ho raha hai. And so I used to come to Calcutta and then try and, get myself acquainted with all the products that we are making for starters, then all the, raw materials that we need. And so I used to do like small projects for him and then used to show him like a saw. Like, so he was like, अच्छा ये वाला report है भी मेरे को दिखाओ ये report. So I used to make this particular report and then I used to show him कि ये देखिए I have made, is it okay? So that was my introduction. So that whole one and a half years I've done that. So I didn't handle anything at all. Yeah.
I think that's modest of you to say I didn't handle anything at all. I think the best thing you did was actually to be with your father, to help him during his bad health, to actually give up to slow down your passion and love for your fashion industry. And I think it's very modest of you to say that. I don't agree with you totally. And I think it's the best that a daughter can do for his father. So coming to what Aditi is doing today, how will you define yourself? What are you doing today? Is it just purely back to fashion or you are doing both? Now that with your younger brother also joining your business.
Yeah. So we both came back to Calcutta at the same point of time. He worked with Goldman Sachs for 2 years and then he came back to join the family business. And I had completed my GFMB and I also wanted to come back because it's very difficult to manage everything when the factory is located in Gujarat and the administration office in Calcutta. So he suggested, why don't you come here and then get inducted to the whole process? So of course, initially I didn't do both. Initially it was just my family business because I was still trying to understand a lot of things. And my brother is from a commerce background, and then so he grasped things much faster. So I mean, he might be 8 years younger to me, but he grasped everything much faster than I could. So I had to like learn basic management terms, and he was like, you don't even know this. So we tried to, we both inducted into the business at the same time. And again, both of us were trying to learn initially of what interests us and what we could actually potentially contribute in the future. So initial 1 year was just trying to get to know the senior management and of what everyone is doing, what the products are like, and what kind of sales we are doing, how do we meet customers. So he used to take us to these customer meetings in different cities, both me and my brother, and some of the rubber conferences. So I couldn't pursue fashion at that point of time at all. And so I was doing purely this just to, I had made up my mind that whenever I understand this enough, to probably just pick one part of it, and then I can relaunch my fashion business. So that just happened 6 months ago, and I started doing both now. So I'm looking after the marketing and the sales and the digital marketing side of our business. And my brother looks into the operations and the purchase side of it. But my dad overlooks everything. He knows everything, whatever is happening. And so there's still a lot of time, for him to like completely trust us, to leave all the decisions and the projects on us. So right now he is the guiding force. We execute or we give our suggestions when need be, but we execute more or less what he's telling us to. And we don't mind that at all because we really don't know what is happening. So we want to first learn everything and then standalone. I mean, do something standalone. Any project standalone, yeah. And I just launched my
Yeah, go ahead, please.
No, so, and I just launched my fashion thing again because I was ready to do both. But for some time, I didn't do that at all. So yeah, so trying to do both right now. So
I think this is the most important part of the entire conversation is I'm trying to do both now. For some time I couldn't do what I wanted to do. And this is what it is all about, grooming daughters. Today, in fact, this case is so unique and so different. Different because most of the interviews that we've had so far were a clear-cut case of where, a daughter is groomed, inspired, and motivated to join the family business. Today, we have this young lady, Aditi Holani, who was again groomed and inspired, but not to join their own family business. She was inspired to do what she liked to do. Okay, and that is what she did. Over a period of time, she underwent a personal challenge, which was in terms of a divorce. At the same time, she also realized that her father was going through a bad health. And that is where she realized that her calling was not only fashion, but also at the same time her family business. And that is where Aditi decides to join the family business, help the father out, at least till the time the brother joins in. I think this is what grooming daughters is all about. It's not just about joining your family business. It's about developing and creating the right kind of personality with your daughter. And that is what we are trying to do at Asian Institute of Family Managed Business. This is an institute which is a not-for-profit institute. We are trying to bring about more discussions about what can we do, how can we change our mindsets about how we can look at our own daughters, how we can look at our own wives, how we can look at our own daughter-in-laws. And the purpose is, in turn, in process, how can their personalities change where they should be and they will be able to meet all the challenges in life, like something like how Aditi Holani has done today. Right. So on that note, viewers, thank you for being with us. Of course, first and foremost, thank you to my very, very dear student, Aditi Holani. Thank you so much for being with us. It was an absolute pleasure to have you.
Thank you so much, sir, for the opportunity, really. And this means a lot. Thank you.
Yes. And on that note, viewers, we will be back with you next Sunday, sharp at 5 p.m. with a different guest and a different storyline. Thank you so much for being with us. Have a good day.